Everyone in the elegant restaurant knew who she was, the daughter of Ethan Hale, the powerful CEO who owned half the city. But tonight, no one saw her as a daughter. They saw the scar. The long, pale line that traced down her left cheek. An uninvited reminder of the fire that had changed everything. Lila walked in quietly, clutching her purse, her eyes down. Whispers followed like shadows. Poor thing. Shame about her face. She should have stayed home. Each word stung, but she smiled anyway. Softly, painfully. She found her corner table hidden near the window. Alone again. Always alone. Then, a small voice broke the silence. "Daddy, can I give her the flower?" Lila looked up. A little boy stood there, holding out a daisy with both hands. Behind him, a man in a waiter's uniform. Tired eyes, gentle smile, watched nervously. "I'm sorry," he said quickly, approaching. "My son thinks everyone deserves flowers." Lila's heart trembled. The boy placed the flower on her palm. "You're really pretty," he said simply. Something inside her cracked open, not from pain but warmth. She looked at the father, whose kindness was quiet but steady, and for the first time in years, she didn't feel invisible. In that simple moment, surrounded by judgmental eyes, a scarred girl finally felt seen, not by the world, but by a stranger's child and his brave, humble father. Lila didn't expect to see them again. But the next evening, when she returned to the same restaurant, almost against her own will, there they were. The same little boy waving his crayon drawings at her from across the room, and the same waiter offering a shy smile that felt oddly comforting. His name tag read Daniel. When her drink arrived, there was a small note beneath the cup. "My son wanted to draw you happy, Daniel." She unfolded the paper and saw a messy but adorable sketch of her smiling, with no scar. Tears blurred her eyes. When Daniel came to clear her table, she whispered, "You're raising a kind boy." He smiled softly. "Kindness is all I can afford to teach him." Something about those words stayed with her. Daniel didn't have much. His worn shoes, his tired hands told that story, but he gave so freely. Lila, despite her wealth, felt like the one who'd been poor all along. As she stood to leave, a group of socialites entered. People she knew from her father's world. They laughed too loud, ordered too much, and when they noticed her, one sneered, "Still hiding that scar, Lila? Thought you'd have it fixed by now." Before she could respond, Daniel stepped forward. Calm, protective. "Ma'am," he said, steady but polite, "our restaurant doesn't serve cruelty. Please, take your comments elsewhere." The room went silent. Lila looked at him, her heart trembling. No one had ever defended her, not even her own father. For the first time, her scar didn't feel like a burden. It felt like a mark that led her right to someone who saw beauty beyond it. After that night, something changed. Lila began visiting the restaurant more often, not for the food, but for the peace she found there. Daniel never treated her like the CEO's daughter. He treated her like a person, someone who could laugh, make mistakes, and be seen for more than the mark on her skin. One rainy evening, when the restaurant was almost empty, she asked quietly, "Do you ever get tired of pretending you're okay?" Daniel smiled faintly, drying a glass. "Every day. But I've got a little boy who thinks his dad is the strongest man in the world. So I keep pretending, until it feels true." He sat across from her then, and for the first time told her the truth. His wife had passed away during childbirth. He'd worked every job he could find, construction, deliveries, finally waiting tables, just to keep his son in school. Lila's eyes softened. "You've been through more than most could handle." He shrugged. "We all carry scars, Miss Hale. Some just show on the outside." She looked down, fingers tracing her cheek. The fire had started in her father's factory, an accident no one talked about. She'd gone in to save a trapped worker. The headlines called it reckless. Her father called it embarrassing. But Daniel, he called it brave. "Maybe your scar isn't something to hide," he said gently. "Maybe it's proof that you have a heart most people could never match." Lila blinked back tears. For years, people saw her scar as damage. But sitting across from Daniel, the man who'd lost everything yet still chose kindness, she finally saw it as something else. A reminder that real beauty often begins where the pain once lived. Rumors spread fast in high society, especially when they involved Ethan Hale's only daughter. By the end of the week, gossip columns buzzed with headlines. Scarred heiress seen dining with waiter. CEO's daughter falls for a single dad? Her father's anger was swift. Lila, do you realize what this looks like? He thundered, pacing his marble office. You're a Hale. You can't be seen with people like him. People like him? She repeated, voice trembling. You mean decent people? Kind people? He slammed his fist on the desk. He's after your money. Don't be naive. Lila stood her ground for once. He's never asked me for anything. Just respect. Something even my own father can't give. That night, she went back to the restaurant, only to find Daniel packing boxes. Your father came by, he said quietly. Offered me money to stay away from you. Lila's breath caught. And you? Daniel smiled sadly. I told him I don't take payment for kindness. Her heart ached. Why didn't you fight him? He looked up, eyes tired but gentle. Because you don't need more fighting in your life, Lila. You need peace. His son tugged her hand then. Will you still visit us? He asked softly. She knelt down, hugging the little boy tightly. Always, she whispered. As she left that night, rain pouring outside, Lila felt torn between two worlds, the one built on power and pride, and the one built on love and humanity. And though her father's empire seemed unshakable, she knew one truth. The man society called ordinary had already done something extraordinary. He had healed the part of her heart even wealth couldn't touch. A month passed. Lila hadn't seen Daniel since that night, but she couldn't forget the warmth of his words, or the innocence in his son's smile. Then came the annual Hale Foundation Gala, her father's biggest event of the year. Lila almost didn't attend, but as she looked at herself in the mirror, she made a quiet promise. No more hiding. She stepped into the ballroom in a simple gown, her scar uncovered, glowing under the soft lights. Whispers rippled instantly. Some stared, some smirked, but Lila walked proudly to the stage. Good evening, she began, her voice steady. Many of you see this scar and think it's a flaw, but it's not. It's a story of courage, loss, and kindness. She paused, scanning the crowd. A man once told me scars show where love has lived. He was a waiter, a single father, and he taught me that dignity doesn't come from wealth. It comes from heart. Gasps filled the room as Daniel entered, led by his little boy holding a flower, the same daisy as before. Lila smiled, tears glistening. Tonight, I'm donating half my inheritance to fund opportunities for single parents, like him, who never stop giving. Her father stood, speechless. For the first time, pride softened his stern face. As applause filled the hall, Daniel reached the stage. Without hesitation, Lila took his hand. Right there before the world that once mocked her. And in that moment, it wasn't a scar people saw anymore. It was strength. It was love. It was proof that compassion can heal wounds deeper than the skin. Because sometimes, the most beautiful thing a person can wear is the hand that chose to hold theirs anyway.